The moment that shook the Catholic world and left millions around the globe in awe, Pope Luis Antonio Tagle, the humble Archbishop of Manila, received the symbolic keys of St. Peter. This was not just another papal transition, it was a historic event that marked a seismic shift in the Catholic Church. The first Filipino pope, a son of the Philippines, was now the head of the world's largest Christian denomination. The air was thick with anticipation, the eyes of the world trained on Vatican City, as this humble man, known for his deep spirituality, his warmth, and his bridge-building spirit, took his place among the most powerful leaders in the world. The setting was nothing short of majestic, with St. Peter's Square bathed in the golden light of the morning. Pilgrims from every corner of the world had gathered, their hearts filled with expectation. They weren't just witnessing a new pope being installed. They were witnessing history, a new chapter for the Catholic Church, a new era that promised to reflect not only the Church's ancient traditions, but also its growing global diversity. Pope Tagle's ascension was not only about a change in leadership, it was about hope for the marginalized, for the underprivileged, and for the billions of Catholics who had longed for a pope who represented their values, their struggles, and their faith. As the ceremony unfolded inside the Grand St. Peter's Basilica, the atmosphere was electric. The cardinal in his solemn attire stepped forward, holding the keys of St. Peter, symbols that have been passed down from pope to pope for centuries, each carrying a rich legacy of faith, leadership, and responsibility. These keys were not just made of gold. They were imbued with the weight of the Church's history, stretching back to the time of St. Peter, the apostle who is considered the first pope. With reverence, the cardinal presented the keys to Pope Tagle, marking the official moment of his papacy. The moment was a profound one, and it resonated deeply with those who were fortunate enough to witness it. It was a simple yet deeply symbolic gesture, one that sent a message not just to Catholics, but to the entire world. As Pope Tagle received the keys, a collective gasp echoed through the basilica. Tears flowed freely from the eyes of the faithful. For many, this was more than just a ceremony. It was a moment of spiritual renewal, a moment of profound connection with something far greater than themselves. As Pope Tagle held the keys, he didn't just inherit the authority of the papacy, he also inherited the dreams, hopes, and prayers of millions of Filipinos around the world. From the smallest villages in the Philippines, where families huddled around their television sets, to the bustling streets of Manila, Filipinos were overwhelmed with pride. It was as though the whole nation had gathered in spirit to witness the elevation of one of their own. This wasn't just a celebration of faith, it was a celebration of Filipino resilience, of the warmth and hospitality that defines the Filipino spirit. The people of the Philippines, who had long been a faithful part of the Catholic Church, saw in Pope Tagle's elevation the embodiment of their own struggles, their own triumphs. It was a moment for them to stand tall, knowing that one of their own now carried the hopes of millions of people around the world. The symbolism of Pope Tagle's election went beyond just the Philippines. His ascension to the papacy marked a shift in the Catholic Church itself. For the first time in centuries, the papacy had shifted its gaze from the West to the East. The global South was now recognized as a key player in the future of the Church. Pope Tagle's rise symbolized the growing importance of nations like the Philippines, Brazil, and other countries in the developing world. The Church, once seen as an institution dominated by Europe, now had a pope who understood the struggles of the poor, the marginalized, and those living on the periphery. Pope Tagle's message was clear from the very beginning: inclusivity. His papacy was about embracing the challenges faced by people around the world, regardless of their race, religion, or background. His warm smile and his openness to dialogue and understanding made him an ideal leader for the Church in this new era. He wasn't just a leader for Catholics, he was a leader for the world. He spoke of building bridges between different cultures, different religions, and different communities, creating a space where all could feel welcome and heard. This bridge-building spirit was evident not only in his words, but also in his actions. He was a man who understood the importance of listening to the poor, to the oppressed, to those who had long been excluded from the halls of power. His papacy promised to be one of outreach, dialogue, and compassion. Pope Tagle's vision for the Church was one where the teachings of Christ were not just preached from pulpits but lived out in everyday life. His call was for a church that reflected the values of Christ: love, mercy, humility, and compassion for all. The impact of Pope Tagle's election was felt immediately. The world reacted with shock, surprise, but also with hope. World leaders, religious figures, and ordinary citizens alike expressed their congratulations and their hopes for a new era of leadership in the Catholic Church. For many, this was a sign that the Church was moving into a new age, one where global perspectives were being embraced, where the voices of the underrepresented were being heard. Pope Tagle's first address as Pope was nothing short of inspiring. His voice resonated with warmth and conviction as he spoke not just to the faithful, but to the entire world. He called for unity in a world that seemed increasingly divided. He spoke of the need for dialogue, understanding, and a renewed focus on the poor and marginalized. His papacy, he said, would be one of humility, one where the Church would listen more and speak less. His call to the faithful was simple: to live out the message of Christ in their daily lives, to embrace one another with love and mercy, and to stand with those who are suffering. The world watched closely, eager to see how Pope Tagle would lead. His election was more than just a change in leadership. It was a transformation of the Catholic Church itself. The keys of St. Peter, which had been passed down through the centuries, were now in the hands of a pope who understood the challenges of the modern world. Pope Tagle was not only the spiritual leader of the Church, he was now the shepherd who would guide the Church through a time of immense change. His election was also significant in the context of the Church's ongoing struggles. The Catholic Church, like many other institutions, faced challenges ranging from secularism to poverty to climate change. These issues were pressing, affecting millions of people around the world. But Pope Tagle was not afraid. He believed that the Church, with its deep roots in faith and tradition, could be a force for good in the world. His faith was unwavering, and his trust in the power of prayer and action was unshakable. He believed that with God's grace, the challenges facing the Church and the world could be overcome. In the months that followed his election, Pope Tagle set to work. He traveled the world, visiting countries where the Catholic Church had a significant presence. He met with world leaders, with the poor, and with those who were most in need. His papacy was not about pomp and circumstance. It was about reaching out to those who needed help the most. His messages were simple but profound. The world needs love, the world needs understanding, and the world needs faith. As Pope Tagle continues his papacy, the legacy of his leadership is still being written. The challenges are immense, but so are the possibilities. Pope Tagle has shown that it is possible to lead with humility, compassion, and courage. His papacy is a testament to the power of faith, to the strength that comes from community, and to the possibility of a world where people can live out the values of love, mercy, and justice. In the end, Pope Tagle's story is one of hope. A hope that transcends borders, transcends cultures, and transcends the struggles of the world. It is a hope that has been ignited in the hearts of millions, a hope that continues to inspire people to live out their faith with love and compassion. It is a hope that will shape the future of the Catholic Church, guiding it through a new era, one where the voices of all people are heard, where the poor are cared for, and where the light of faith shines brightly for all to see.